Hi guys, welcome back to Reviews in 10. Jason here, bringing you today's video. As you can see, I'm in front of one of our alternate bookshelves. Can't be in the main library. We've got the kid here, so I don't want to keep him up with this, especially with some of the books I talk about. So as always, please hit those like and subscribe buttons, guys. Please, 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 please. This is our family channel. It's our passion project. We love books. We love to talk about it, and hopefully we're giving you guys some stuff to read or some new things to read. So today I actually want to talk about a book that was recommended to me in one of the comments not too long ago, actually, just a few days back, I think. And as always, I'm going to talk about four things. I'm going to talk about the world, the characters, the plot, and the writing style. I actually wrote down the author's name. I can't remember the author's name for some reason. It's a real simple name too. But the book is called Masseur. And again, it was recommended to us. And please, send us recommendations. I got a couple of them in the comments. You can also email us. But it's called Masseur. And the world. So I'll start off with the world. So the world is, normally I would say it's like an alternate world. A lot of these books it's like a VR world or an alternate world or a died and reborn kind of thing. In a way this sort of is, but they make it very, very clear that this world is, you know, maybe an alternate dimension kind of thing, but it's a world that theoretically exists within our reality, because part of the book, the very beginning and then a small snippet in the middle, actually does occur on Earth. So it's very clear that it is part of a greater, you know, multiverse kind of thing. In fact, there's characters that travel through this multiverse that are briefly talked about. But it is definitely a medieval type of world. Swords and sorcery, definitely swords and sorcery. It starts out with a swords and sorcery kind of thing. But also, you know, anthropomorphic. You've got, you've got cat people, and you've got your usual orcs and trolls and all that stuff, elves, and I'm sure dwarves. I don't recall the dwarves showing up, but I'm sure dwarves, demons. You definitely, you know, and just about everything is pretty anthropomorphic, pretty human-shaped, human type. Otherwise, it would be a very odd harem lit, although I have seen a few that are along those lines. And that actually leads into the characters. So the main character's name is Riker. Now, he has been transported into an alternate reality, like an alternate dimension of himself. Almost like an opposite alignment kind of thing. He's on his world. He's Masseur, and that's what he does. He's a professional Masseur. And in this world, the character was a soldier and really closer to a mass murderer than anything else. And I do want to throw this in there real fast, because obviously in a harem-lit book, any kind of, you know, massage or masseur thing can get kind of iffy. And the author makes it very clear and is very, very careful to make sure that as far as that goes, it always remains very, very professional. He wants to make sure that it is very well known that 99.999% of masseurs and masseuses out there are professional, and it does not ever go into any kind of areas that it shouldn't. And that also continues within the book and within the character's new life. So that's the main character. The main character's name is Riker. His old body was named Ivan, but he goes by Riker. And he's kind of a blend because he does have the memories and skills of his original body, Ivan, but he also has himself, Riker, with his masseur skills and such. Although some magic definitely comes into play in that. This being a swords and sorcery, people and creatures can develop masteries. Ivan had clearly a mastery in sword and probably maybe something else, but definitely a mastery in sword. There's characters that have masteries in painting, masteries in throwing in a really cool way, and masteries in massage that doesn't even exist in this world until Riker shows up and starts introducing people to it, and his mastery gives him magical abilities along with it. Obviously healing, sleeping, relaxing, stuff like that. So, you know, that's what he ends up introducing. Now, the other two main characters that pop up, one is basically a monsterkin female, the other one is a demonkin female. Therein lies my actual only knock on this book. I actually loved this book because it's more of a slice of life that's rapidly turning into my favorite style versus an overarching plot. But I'll get into that in the plots. But the characters themselves, that's my main issue. The monsterkin character with the mastery of throwing, and so she's pretty awesome. She is pretty damn awesome, and very, very well written and a lot of fun. The demonkin character, however, I actually skipped all the adult situations that occurred in this book. Once they occurred, there weren't that many of them. He definitely didn't overload the book with it. But I skipped those because to me, I almost found it kind of creepy because the Demon Kin character. I know he's trying to write her as just a maybe an uber sensual, uber sexual creature, but it comes across more as a mentally handicapped teenager. I mean, it honestly does. Like this character with this absolute lack of impulse control and absolute inability to control themselves to any kind of normal function. Makes you wonder how they made it through life. So it's that throws me out a little bit. The character is just a little too over the top. It throws me out of the book. But outside of that, going into the plot. So again, this is a slice of life book, and I'm really starting to love these. I mean, Sibelius says the Would You Love Monster Girl in book 3 is just a slice of life, and it was my favorite book out of the whole series. And that's what it is, slice of life. There's a little bit of a plot line because not really plot, but information more towards the world and the wars that have been going on, and how Ivan was part of a war, and how he's still recognized, was a very recognizable figure. But for the most part, it's a slice of life because Riker doesn't want to be a warrior. He doesn't want to be a killer. He doesn't want to be fighting for his life all the time. He just wants to have a life. So and with his two friends that end up more than friends, but it's two friends. The friendship thing is actually really well written. And he's got a skill that nobody else has, the massage thing. So the other two basically have nowhere to go, no clans, no families, so they all need to start a new life. So they basically want to do it in the neutral zone, basically, where there's no laws, because either side, one's anti-Beast and Demon King, the other is anti-human. So, for them to stay together, they have to be within this neutral zone. They get an old inn, they get the deed to it, and because it's on the neutral zone, they basically are the law. But they rebuild it, and they rebuild it as exactly that, a saloon, inn / the massage parlor, basically, and start building up some contacts and some clientele and business that way. And that's the book. It's a slice of life. It's them building up this home and building up this family with themselves. And I read this thing through in super fast, super fast. I started yesterday morning. I finished it yesterday morning. It's a really gripping story. Really gripping story. I'm starting to really like this slice of life kind of stuff, but just a really gripping story. Ends with a slight little bit of not a cliffhanger, but a hint of where it's going to go next, which I'm very much looking forward to. Book 2 is already on Amazon, but hasn't been released yet, but it's definitely is on there as, hey, coming soon, you can pre-order it kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm definitely going to read it, and I will review it for you guys. The writing style, really good. Like I said, he's really good with his character, except for the Demon King character, just too much. But for the rest, I mean, he writes this tension, and then friendship, and then almost family unit, and how it evolves while they're building everything else. He writes it really well. The characters are gripping. The interactions between them are gripping. What they're trying to do it's gripping. The trials and tribulations they come across. They said it's gripping. You don't want to put it down. You want to find out what happens next, even though it's not a big sword fight. You're not dying to find out what happens next because they're right in the middle of a battle. You're dying to find out what happens next because they're just right in the middle of a decision or a new client or something along those lines. So I can't recommend this book enough, actually. I'm glad it was recommended to me. It was really good. So after you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons, go ahead and check it out. Monster Masseur. It's on Amazon. I'll have the author on the description. Sorry, I can't remember it. And otherwise, thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate every one of you guys. Bye now.